Then afterwards, when we got out of the Navy, I wanted to go to art school. And I found the art school in San Francisco. And I went up there with a friend who drove me around. And I saw this beautiful building up on Nob Hill. And I said, I'll go in and ask in there if they have any, rooms. I walked in there and this very dapper old gentleman came up to me and I told him, I was looking for it. He said, I'm sorry, dear heart, but you have the wrong place. This is the Bohemian Club. So I went looking further. But anyway, I finally ended up at the Mary Elizabeth Inn, an all-girls boarding place, And so, and then I applied at the school and I was accepted. And that's where I met Ray Marta. And we just hit it off. He was the best artist of anybody there. I was the best girl artist. So, and finally we decided, it was 3 years when we finally decided to get married. He asked me out in front of the Mary Elizabeth Inn. Oh dear, shall I tell you about when lunch? I didn't have any lunch, so we used to go up to the park there at the top of Nob Hill for our lunch. And I guess he told his mother that I never had any lunch, and so she made extra for me. So we sat up there and had our lunch together. It was so beautiful up there anyway. So anyway, he asked me there in front of the Mary Elizabeth Inn, will you marry me? So it was great. It was wonderful. When we got married, Dora came down. She was my matron of honor, and she was standing next to me. And I didn't have a hanky, and I was crying so much. It was terrible. And I, do you have a hanky, Dora? The priest was young, and he was a Jesuit. He was allowed, since it was his first wedding, a nuptial blessing. And then a friend of mine went over to see the Pope and brought me back a blessing, all written up. I still have it. So that was kind of neat altogether. But anyway, I asked Dora because I was crying so much, and she had a hanky, thank goodness. Toward the end, we forgot to kiss. We forgot to kiss. And everybody asked me afterwards, what happened? It was so funny. Anyway, we went outside the church and we all stood outside the church. It was a perfectly beautiful day and it had been foggy. That day it was not. San Francisco was beautiful. So we stood outside the church and met everybody coming out, and they all, came and congratulated us and everything. It was wonderful. And then Al and Mary, Ray's mother, Mary Assunta, had reserved a place downtown Oakland, and I forget the name of the restaurant, but Al knew it, the owner. So everybody came, all my friends from the Mary Elizabeth Inn, all my Japanese friends, everybody, and it was really exciting. We had a wonderful dinner there, sit-down dinner, with huge tables that were in the form of a horseshoe. It was really great. So, and then after that, we went home, and my parents wanted to drive back east to their home and give me another reception back east in Philadelphia. So Ray and I had to drive my mother and father on our honeymoon all the way back east. I mean, that was horrendous. Oh my gosh. It took forever, and I felt like I was still driving when I got out of the car, you know, riding. Oh, Lordy. But anyway, they gave us another big reception there in Philadelphia, and I met a lot of my relatives that I hadn't seen in a long time. So that worked out beautifully.